Whenever you procrastinate, it feels like there's just a part of your brain that's always against you. It feels like no matter what you do, that little part of your brain always speaks up and puts in this 2 cents. Always, no matter what, and it's unavoidable. That part of your brain is a cause of stress and procrastination, right? That's just obvious. But really, the source of it is fear. Fear, I'm not joking. Whatever you procrastinate, you're afraid of something. Whether it be you're afraid of boredom, you're afraid of hard work, you're afraid of pain, you're afraid of letting people down. Whenever you're afraid of something, it makes you not want to try. Because if you go up to a dark cave and you hear growling noises in that cave, would you go into that cave? I wouldn't, right? And because you're afraid of something, you end up not doing it. And that fear shows up in, again, a multitude of ways. Fear of failure, fear of letting people down, fear of missing out as well. A lot of different ways to show up, but at the end of the day, it's still fear. And how do you deal with fear? Well, fear is an emotion, right? So how do you deal with emotions? And there's really 2 ways that I found to deal with emotions just personally, like to process them, manage them. Number 1 is journaling. So journaling is when you generally just take out a piece of paper, write down on it just what you're feeling, what you're afraid of, and why. And the second one is labeling. So this is essentially journaling, but in your head. You just say, what am I afraid of? And then you label it. So, okay, I'm afraid of trying right now because I'm worried that I'm going to mess up. I'm worried that I'm not going to make a good video. I'm worried that I'm not going to do well in my job. And once you label that fear or you write it down, you see it with your own 2 eyes, or I guess you hear it with your own brain, I think. Well, it would be brain, yeah. You hear and feel that feeling. You feel the writing on the paper, and you understand that it's a baseless fear. It doesn't have an actual logical source. It doesn't have a reason to show up. It just has showed up. So honestly, I have to be honest, yesterday I wasted about 2 hours like scrolling on the internet, like Wikipedia pages, Reddit, stuff like that. I have to be completely honest. I was procrastinating on watching a podcast that I really wanted to watch, but it felt like it was a chore to start. And I should have done this, by the way. I actually didn't end up doing this, but I wish I labeled in my head, because if I did, I would have realized that what am I afraid of? So ask myself that first step. Second step, we have to answer it. I would have said that I'm afraid of being bored and experiencing pain through boredom. And once I have that answer, the third step is to actually analyze what you said. So wait. Back up real quick. I'm afraid of listening to a podcast that I actually want to listen to. You see the illogical thinking there? You see the problem, right? You see that your emotions don't actually end up with reality. They're not aligned at all. Especially something irrational like procrastination, because at its core, procrastination is irrational. What organism naturally in nature ends up not doing something that's good for itself? Just honestly, I don't know many creatures other than people, right? I'm a human. I know procrastination. I don't know any other animal that has procrastination. Maybe they do, but I don't know any of them. And because it's irrational, the source is irrational and the thinking is irrational. You have to see that thinking, and then because you see the problem, you see the misalignment, it loses its power. Whenever I started to think about it today, actually, I realized that why was I afraid? I could have just done it. I shouldn't have wasted 2 hours like that. I'm honestly upset at myself because I didn't see the irrationality immediately. And so I spent 2 hours wasting time. That's essentially what I did. I wasted time because I didn't see that what I felt wasn't the same as what reality was. And I want to leave you with one last mindset in this video. The video is wrapping up soon, I promise. It's a mindset. It's that you feel fear, but it's not actually your fear. Procrastination is like a living organism. It doesn't want to die. The first rule of any organism, living and just alive, alive, is that they want to survive. That's the first rule of biology, that organisms want to survive. And procrastination is like an organism. It's that little part of your brain that doesn't want to die off. It wants to stay alive. And it does that by staying the same. It doesn't want you to improve, and it doesn't want you to get better. It doesn't want you to try. It doesn't want you to grow because it wants you to stay the same. Procrastination doesn't want you to grow because procrastination dies off by you growing. And so the real root cause of that fear, the actual source of all that fear, all the negative emotions, is procrastination's fear of you succeeding. Procrastination is afraid of you succeeding. That little part of your brain that's tormented you for years is afraid of you getting better. And that's what all this comes down to. It's afraid of you actually getting what you want, you actually achieving your goals. And once I realized that, once I took a further step and started to realize that, it's like all the power of procrastination suddenly started to dissolve. I still have to deal with like the remnants, but the actual main source, the main power of procrastination gets lost when you realize that it's just afraid of you getting better. It's afraid of you improving as a person, of you improving as an individual. It doesn't want you to get better. And so why should you listen to it?